I think I've been muted for this whole time. I'm not too sure. Ugh. Uh, yeah, well, we'll find out. I'm going to find out real quick. I think I've been mute. Okay, so let me start this over. I think I've been mute. So this is my first podcast. I'm like 5 minutes, 37 seconds into it. And you probably heard absolutely nothing, which is kind of good and bad. Bad that it took me 5 minutes to figure it out. Good because it was nothing but gibberish. So let me just say this is a personal podcast for me because I want to get in the habit of putting things out on a regular basis. I know I say I'm going to start at 10 o'clock, but, life happens. I went to prepare for the show. By the way, my name's Jesus. For the next, I don't know, we'll just do this I think I'm going to make this like a 15, 20-minute thing so I can just get it out of the way and relax for the rest of the night because I'm stressing myself out not knowing what I'm actually doing. So we'll figure that out later. This is the test run. So maybe this is like the beta. And I'm thinking of so I'm personal, so I'll be your personal Jesus, and I think I'm going to title this the Modern Jesus Podcast. God, I hope that's not taken. Good name, I like it. I'm going to go with it. In case you're wondering what gives me the right to do that, my name's Jesus. I grew up in the Catholic Church. And I'm an atheist, so calling myself Jesus is kind of like, an oxymoron. Is it an oxymoron? Yeah, because I am not Jesus. I don't think I'm Jesus. I don't pretend to be Jesus. Do I think Jesus exists? Yes. Why would anybody write a book about what somebody says who didn't exist and, turn it into a religion? You know? Um, at least the one of the um, a Bible scholar whom I follow, who is also an atheist, says he believes Jesus exists, but I think we're both under the same impression that he was not the Son of God. I think that came later on. I don't even think his original apostles would have considered him the Son of God. I think this was a story that came later on from um, I don't know. Paul. Paul's the one, that guy who went from Saul to Paul. That dude. He's the guy who, you know, turned him into God, I believe. And then I think the Catholic Church, like, officially said, yes, God exists, or he was a follower. I don't know. I just know there's a lot of dogma in there, and you can't follow it all. There's too much science. I mean, story of creation. When you don't know anything about the world, how do you tell the story? You tell the story, the way you would tell a story to a child who doesn't know all the information. You make it colorful and make it plausible and yada, yada, yada. And, boom, religion. Because you got to explain what goes on in the world, right? Oh, why does tragedy happen? God has it. It's the devil or whatever. So I just think, shit happens. In case you didn't hear that, that's our lovely police department. I'm sure in a hurry to go somewhere where I don't know. I never see them do any. Well, that's not true. They do stop traffic for accidents. Um, Motorcycle cops will pull you over, but and they're all nice people. So, um, will they move the homeless person who's living in a tent on my block away? No, they won't do that. Will they move it from the same street that that Eric Garcetti lives on? Yes. I just want to say right here and right now that there are two different Los Angeleses. Okay, we don't have delineational tracks that divide the haves from the have-nots, like they do in Dallas or various other cities where there's a clear delineation of who's got money and who doesn't, you know. But there are cities here that, homeless people aren't allowed. Am I jumping topics? I am, because this is just a rambling. Because I have no preparation. So excuse me if I go from religion to the homeless. Eric, our city ran on, I'm going to fix the homeless problem. Well, you're not doing a very good job, and the job you're doing right now is completely inadequate. And it took an uproar from, there are under every bridge I see, I don't know if it's every bridge in the city, but under every bridge I see, through certain neighborhoods I go through, there are plenty of people living in tents in this city. But you know where you're not going to find them? You're not going to find them in Brentwood. You're not going to find them in Hancock Park. You're not going to find any homeless people in Beverly Hills or what the hell is that place over there? I don't know. Malibu. You might find them walking, but they're not living there. If they're living there, they're on the beach, and the state of California's problem, or the state of California's problem. So, there's a certain group of people who have privilege in the city that they don't have to deal with the homeless on a daily basis. Sure, they'll get accosted at a store, but there's not a group of them living on their block just throwing their refuse everywhere. I should know. Where I live is, I'm going to guesstimate, I think it's like 3 or 4 blocks from the mayoral house, where Eric, I don't know if he actually lives there, if they just use it for functions. But all I'm saying is, you couldn't even, the Black Lives Matter people weren't even allowed to camp out at his place to protest. The police, quickly moved them off. So, it's okay for you to have homeless in certain neighborhoods. And I'll give you, there's a clear delineation in Brentwood, because Brentwood butts right up against the Los Angeles Veterans Administration Hospital. And tents are okay as long as you're on the east side of San Vicente before it makes that turn. As long as you're over there by the VA hospital, have at it. Once you kind of step across the median, and there's a huge median, if nobody knows San Vicente, there's a huge median that goes right through the middle of the street. People jog on it all the time. Once you cross that delineation into the actual Brentwood proper, yeah, you're not going to be there for very long. I don't even know. I used to live in Brentwood. Okay, I used to live in Brentwood. I never remember seeing any homeless people, and this was in the 90s. Maybe you would see a bum every now and then, and pardon my expression, yes, a bum. Someone who is on the street and homeless and crazy and all that shit. The sad thing about it is we have plenty of resources in this state, in this city. I know because I use them. We have plenty of resources for these people, but it all has to be voluntary. And when a modern city in the state with the 6th largest economy in the world, okay? So, so just think of just think about that. Obviously U.S., China, maybe England, India, that's 4 right there. Let's see, who else probably has, maybe Russia, I'm sure. France, Germany, California. We're in that group. We're in the top 10. The state by itself. We give so much. We give like $1.25 or something like that to the U.S. government, and they give us, I don't know, less than that back. Fuck, man! If it wasn't for us, this country would be hating life. It's a brag, but it's true. Anyway, but don't think California. Yeah, we have a lot of resources, but if you're a developer, you pretty much, if you're a developer in the tech industry, you run the state. Okay. Oops. There went. All right. That's what. Just remember, your mic can be mobile, but you can't take it out of the little thing that it's sitting in, or it's gonna get away from you. So okay. So if you're in the film industry, if you're in the let's forget if you're in the media industry, if you're a media giant, and they're all here. If you're a tech giant, and most of them are here, if you're a developer, uh, uh, you get away with a lot. A lot. Just in my neighborhood alone, just in my neighborhood, like, and when I mean my neighborhood, I'm talking in my like 6 square block area. That's as far out as I'm going from there. Maybe even less than that. Maybe even a 4. There's one company that has, I believe, one developer who has 5 projects going on in my neighborhood. 5. I could be lying, but I believe it's the same developer. If what I've with rumors to be true, because honestly, it's all conjecture by what I hear from various other business owners in the area. And believe me, when I say I know the business owners in the area, I do, especially at my mini mall. So, and they deal with the government, but if you're a developer, yeah, if you're like a business owner, they kind of like screw you over, because there was a gentleman who spent an entire year trying to open up a burger stand, a burger restaurant, Burger Inn, an entire year. Why? Because maybe the health inspector didn't want to come by. Maybe the building inspector didn't want to come by. They would make the appointment, but he has to go have drinks or something like that, because that's how it works in Los Angeles. If you're not greasing palms, you ain't getting dick. And I love how, like, when a developer says, hey, we're going to develop this thing right here, we're going to have a community meeting about it Wednesday afternoon at 1 o'clock. Who the fuck is getting out of work to go bitch for, 2 minutes about why their project shouldn't be here? Yeah, nobody. Not maybe me, because, I have a minimum wage job for the state of California, which is $12 an hour. And that's a steady part-time gig, so I'm rolling in dough. A little drink there. I am parched. So the homeless problem, I don't like what they're doing with it. I think more can be done. I mean, they're building homeless shelters. Yeah, one homeless shelter they're going to build. They awarded the contract to the developer, and the city says, "Oh, we've got this lovely basketball court and community center. You guys can have that instead of the hundreds of other swaths of land, unused land in the city that could be used to home houses. Let's demolition the community center and the kids' basketball and recreation court, so we can toss some money to a developer, and he can overcharge us. He could charge like $100 and whatever $1,000 or $300,000 per unit, which I believe was. And when I say 300, I'm not lying. There's an actual homeless shelter going up that's going to be about $300,000 per unit. When I believe there's a homeless shelter in somewhere in the city. I want to say it's in Long Beach, where they're capable of housing the same amount of people that it's going to be in this building for, a total of, I believe, I could be exaggerating because, I'm listening to the radio. I'm not sure if it's correct. For like for like $300,000, they can fit the same amount of people. And a tent structure. You know? I mean, I understand, you know, you want to have, people need shelter and warmth and accommodations. I get it. I understand. But if we're going to reward them with that, we have to, there has to be a stick with the carrot. You gotta get mental health. You know, you gotta, get go to rehab. You know, and this is coming from someone who had a drug problem. I had a drug problem. I never went to rehab because I didn't go to rehab every time I would go to like AA or anything like that. I didn't have a drinking problem. It was drugs. It was methamphetamine. But and I'm gonna admit I fell off the wagon when I like got it out of my life for a little while because it's just the way it is. You need to like remind yourself like, oh yeah, this is a horrible thing. Sometimes you need a reminder that this is horrible. And the last time I did it, I could have I could have died, honestly. And nobody knew about it. No one would have known why until they did the autopsy. But it was a sad thing, and I haven't been on it since because that day scared me. It scared me pretty bad. Anyway, so you need to have all this done because as much as, and let's face the fact, not everybody can live in this city, in this state, Not everybody can live here. That's just a fact, and just because people want to live here doesn't mean we should like devote more resources to those who can't afford to live here. And I get it. Yes, people can't afford to move. People are coming from other countries, and this is where all their families are at. I understand. I completely understand. I'm lucky. I am one of the lucky ones that my family just happened to be here. But, people tell me, like, I can't tell you how many times, like, people move out here to become an actor. That's great, man. That's fantastic. But they come out here, they have some semblance of a plan. And I know right away. I've seen the good ones. Like, in person, before they became great. And they're head and shoulders above everybody around them. And it's noticeable. And those people, and only 5% of those people make it. So when I see somebody coming in who, doesn't have much of an acting ability, doesn't have as much motivation as some people have, which is part of the reason why I'm trying to get into the habit of doing this on a regular basis. I want to make it a habit. Yes, I have a goal to have it on Thursdays at 10 o'clock or whatever the fuck I'm going to be doing this. But, it is what it is. Whatever happened, I've just got to start off slow. Nobody's listening. It doesn't matter. It's just me. I'm trying to find my voice. I'm trying to find out who I am. I can no longer stand on the sidelines watching money siphoned from people who really need it to those who do not. I'm all for wealth. Hey, man, make as much money as you want. Seriously, make as much money as you want. But, don't make me pay for your mistakes. Don't, I don't think that any country, no, there might as well. I mean, like, let's take Amazon. Amazon made $70 billion this quarter. 70 billion. $70 billion. And that was a loss. Oh no, they have 70 billion sales. But they had a loss in profit. Yet they pay no taxes. They don't pay any taxes. Google, I doubt they pay taxes. No big corporation pay taxes. So why we needed to lower the corporate tax rate? I have no idea. since they don't pass it, any tax they get, they pass along to us. So that was just like a money grab for them. All right, it really is. And if they want to pay less tax, they just say, "Oh, our corporation's in Ireland," or they have accounts in the Cayman Islands. That's the way it is. So, and problems don't get fixed. The Democratic Party, by the way, I'm an independent. I believe. I think David Lee Roth, I think said, "Send them flowers, but be packing," or something like that. Something like that. It was on the Joe Rogan podcast. And yeah, man, kill them with kindness, and then just protect yourself. I don't think we need to be in the Middle East. I don't. I think some of what our current president does is good. I think some of what he does is bad, and I don't hate him. I definitely didn't vote for Hillary Clinton because she's not likable. I don't care if she was a woman. Anybody who can't talk natural on a speech or with all that years of experience and all the shady stuff that we found out later with Epstein, who how many times they've been on, come on. They let people things slide all the time. Their foundation, all the propaganda they try and create, and then look what she's doing with Tulsi Gabbard. I can't stand by the sides anymore. I've got to say something. Okay? And I'm going to end with this because, I've got 3 minutes left. So I'm going to tell you just a little bit about my points of view. Okay? Prostitution should be legal. Drugs should be legal. And I don't have a problem with everybody carrying a gun. I don't. Now, I think there should be oversight for the prostitution and the drugs. Definitely. I don't think anybody should be making cocaine in their backyard. But if you want marijuana, that's fine. You want to grow shrooms, that's fine. Peyote, whatever. If it grows, it's all you. Should you be limited to what you can have? Yes. By all means. Limit it. I don't have a problem with limit as long as it's regulated. That's all I'm saying. Guns, I don't have a problem with everybody carrying a firearm. Not at all. As long as there are maybe classes, weekly classes, yearly classes, as long as there's some type of training that we're all getting. And not going to the DMV. I'm talking about loading it, firing it, safety, whatever needs to be done. I'm all for it. Those of you who don't want to carry a gun, you don't have to. Those people who are shooting up those schools, they're going to do it. Nobody can stop a lone wolf. Nobody. Nobody. It's just not possible because you're not in everybody's head. Do we need to take a look at what drugs are happening with mental health? Yes, because for years I was diagnosed with depression and none of the medications they gave me worked. Finally, I got a bipolar medication. That worked. One, made me gain a huge amount of weight. Plus, I also had sleep apnea, so I wasn't being very active. But one of the side effects was gaining a huge amount of weight. 250 pounds. I went to 276 pounds or something like that, almost 280. I went to another bipolar medication, lost a little bit of weight, started getting exercise, but I couldn't stop moving. Got rid of that. Then I did psychedelic trips, and I'm off it. I don't take it. I don't feel I need it. I don't feel those things. I look for the signs, and I work out every day because it's good for your body, or at least I try to. I try to do something every day since I've came to this realization. So that's it. That's me. That's what I'm going to talk about. That's what this podcast is going to be about. I hope you'll tune in. I don't care if you subscribe. I don't care if you listen. Just take care of you. Do the best that you can. And if you fail, at least you tried. And it's important. You don't have to try hard. Just try. Trying hard comes later. This podcast, this is me like winging it. So, uh, so there's that. Mediocrity can lead to success. As long as you don't stay mediocre the entire time. All right. Bye. I don't know how to stop this thing.